It's lunchtime. You walk into a crowded school cafeteria. Hundreds of students are lining up, grabbing trays, and finding seats with their friends. But think about this. Why doesn't this room instantly devolve into complete physical chaos? These are the invisible tools of peace. We often encounter rules as restrictions, but they actually function as the architecture that allows us to share space and resources without constant conflict. This dynamic starts inside any small community, which is simply a group of people sharing a place or a common goal. Your own classroom is a perfect example of a micro-community operating on these shared expectations. But the math gets much more complicated when we step outside the school. How do these exact same principles apply when we scale up from a single room of 30 students to the sprawling metropolitan centers of Alberta? Whether you are sane in a cafeteria or looking across these provincial landscapes, these unseen agreements keep the gears of a community turning. They provide the shared baseline of behavior that allows millions of people to live and work in the same space. The most immediate job of a rule is physical safety. If you are crossing a busy street in Lethbridge or merging onto Highway 2, you are participating in a highly localized, high-stakes agreement. Those illuminated red and green lenses are literal, life-saving boundaries. Take away the speed limits and the stop signs, and daily traffic infrastructure would fail to prevent constant, catastrophic accidents. So, physical safety is straightforward. But how does a society organize the competing ideas and desires of millions of people? This requires a different kind of tool entirely: the concept of order. Ancient civilizations realized they could not survive endless internal conflict. In ancient Athens, citizens adopted majority voting and secret ballots, specifically to stop their decision-making process from descending into chaos. The Roman Republic appointed elected representatives to pass laws for a massive territory. Later, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy utilized the Great Law of Peace, giving specific roles to chiefs and clan mothers to consistently achieve consensus. These societies engineered the structural mechanisms of predictable, fair order. They built the guardrails that prevent a society from tearing itself apart. In modern Canada, that structural rulebook is the Constitution Act. It is designed to keep society running smoothly by making sure everyone knows exactly who is responsible for what. It clearly divides government powers to maintain order. Municipal rules handle local matters like park usage and garbage collection. Provincial rules, managed by the Premier and MLAs, oversee schools and hospitals. Federal rules handle national defense and international trade. That top federal tier is where the Prime Minister and members of Parliament operate, following strict procedures to manage issues that affect the entire country simultaneously. And those massive countrywide rules are debated and forged right here. Inside the House of Commons, elected representatives argue, compromise, and actively draft the legislation that creates predictability for millions of Canadians. But creating laws is only half the equation. The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms exists to place limits on that power. It guarantees fundamental freedoms like speech and religion, but also draws firm boundaries. You have the right to express your opinion, but you cannot legally yell fire in a crowded theater if there is no danger. That limit protects public safety. The Charter also explicitly outlines collective rights, including protections for Indigenous peoples and official linguistic minorities. When citizens face discrimination, these exact rules provide the legal tools to seek justice. A democratic system cannot survive solely on top-down rules. It requires bottom-up participation. We call that participation responsibility, the understanding that your personal actions affect the rest of the group. Citizens put this responsibility into action every single day. They do it by obeying local laws, joining neighborhood cleanup projects, and, crucially, by casting a vote to choose their representatives. And when rules are broken, there is a consequence. From a student missing recess for skipping homework to an adult paying a hefty legal fine, consequences act as learning tools designed to encourage better choices the next time around. Because democracy is a living system, the rules themselves are imperfect. They are written by humans, and as communities grow and learn, the rules have to evolve to keep up. As the camera slowly pans across the dense handwritten parchment, look back through history and you see a continuous effort to rewrite foundational rules, strip away absolute power, and build fairer agreements. You see this evolution today when community groups successfully advocate for safer bike paths, or when students convince a school council to install better playground equipment. Understanding, following, and sometimes improving these rules is the work of an active citizen. It is how individuals take ownership of their community and help build the future they want to live in.